Welcome to the Wise Take DFS podcast. Primetime Sunday night, Monday night build for week 15. It's another edition of Building Blocks with my son, Cam. Follow him at Twitter at KamG333. I'm, of course, Patio Joe. Fan me at Twitter at Patio Joe Ref. This is the new show, father-son show called Building Blocks that I think we're going to have it take off. So what do you think about that, Cam? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, you just came up with it today, but I think it sounds pretty good.
Building blocks, we're building lineups and stuff. You're not going to come back 15 years later and accuse me of something, are you? I hope not.
No,
okay.
You're good.
All right, good. I hope we're still friends 15 years from now. That would be a great thing. You would still be 25 then?
27, yeah.
Yeah, 27. I thought so, yeah. Perfect. All right. You got 2-game slate here for Sunday night and Monday night. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Oaktown to take on the Oakland Raiders. I will tell you what, I would not want to be in that stadium on Sunday night. You have Raider fans and Cowboy fans drinking from 10 o'clock in the morning all day. And right now, the Raiders are pretty much almost out of things. And the worst thing you can have is an irrational Raider fan because they're already irrational. So all you need is more excuse. And then you throw in the Cowboys coming in town, which they always bring a huge contingency. And you have a recipe for really, 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 really problems, as I would say. So, and then the other game, of course, is the Atlanta Falcons, still in the hunt for a playoff spot, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before we get started, how do you see these games going?
I don't know. That Atlanta-Tampa Bay game, they played a little bit ago, 3 weeks ago maybe, and Julio just went off. So I can see Tampa Bay is going to change a bunch of stuff up. I don't think it'll go nearly the same that it did last time. It's at Tampa Bay instead of in the Dome in Atlanta. So I could see Freeman having a better game here. Hopefully Coleman's out for fantasy purposes. And my guess is they're just gonna shadow Julio the whole game. So they're not gonna let him go off
like that.
250 and 2 touchdowns again. So and then Atlanta, Oakland is interesting too.
You mean Dallas, Oakland?
Dallas, Oakland, and that's a good one. I like both quarterbacks, and should be a pretty high scoring game, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. All righty. Let's start with FanDuel build here. At quarterback, I think we have 4 options that we can look at. We can talk about. We got Dak, we got Matt Ryan, we got Derek Carr, and we got Jameis Winston. I would say in most cases just lock in Matt Ryan, but he hasn't, had a great, success this whole season. He hasn't posted a top, 5 or 6 finish all year. But with those choices, what do you think? Who are you going with?
I've said it all year. I hate Matt Ryan. He sucks. I don't want to play him at all. He's my least favorite quarterback on this slate. I'd rank him 4 out of the starting 4. And he's the second most expensive, only $300 behind Dak. I think that's a waste of space. No way I'm paying for him. Dak's probably my favorite just because of the rushing upside potential. But he's also the most expensive. Carr's always interesting at home. And against Dallas' secondary, I feel like anything could happen. But they have Sean Lee back, I think, so that makes a little bit of a difference. And maybe Amari Cooper might be back, so he gets another weapon. But, I don't know. Carr's kind of in the same boat as Ryan this year, where, they were really good last year, but this year something's going on with that. Winston's intriguing just because of his price. He's 6.9. Against Atlanta's defense, who is fine, but I wouldn't say I'm scared of them or anything. So I don't mind Winston for the savings or Dak if we have enough to pay up for. But those would be my two options. So whoever you prefer. I think cash game, you'd obviously lock in Dak, but GPP, Jameis is a little more interesting to me.
Yeah. Let's lock in Dak. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from Jameis.
Yeah.
But I like him. Running back. You said before Devonta Freeman. I think a lot hinges on the fact that we have, Coleman being back or not because he's under the concussion protocol still. So I think he's still under the protocol right now. Let's just assume that Freeman's in the game. I like Freeman. My other guy that I probably would want to pair with him would be Alfred Morris. What do you say?
Yeah. I like Freeman a lot. I really hope Coleman doesn't play just because of that. But he's still in concussion protocol, it looks like. I don't know how much he'll progress till the end of the week. That's iffy, but if Coleman doesn't play, I would lock in Freeman. So are we just going to say that Coleman isn't playing?
Right now, let's say right now he's not playing because he's still in the concussion protocol. So we don't even know if he's been practicing or anything. So
then I would play Freeman for sure. Okay. And then, I like Morris too. I think he's the safest, and he's not very expensive against Oakland's run D. So I like that.
Now, would you go for a GPP flyer maybe if you wanted to go with Peyton Barber? Maybe is he? Because I think everybody doesn't know how to figure out that rushing game, but everybody thinks that Barber's the better play. What do you say about that, just for GPP?
Yeah, just watching the games, I think it's pretty obvious that like Peyton Barber is pretty talented. So I'd like that. It's just like these NFL coaches, you never know how they're going to use these guys on like a week-to-week basis. I think Doug Martin got most of the red zone work, which is kind of interesting, but he did fumble last week. So I don't think Peyton Barber would be a terrible play if you need the savings.
All right, cool. So we're just going to lock Will Freeman and Morris. Let's move on to receiver. You said that you think that they're just going to shadow Julio, but does that not mean you're not playing him at all?
I'm not going to play him at $9K. I think a lot of people especially on a short slate, with not like there's no expensive running back at all. There's there's like not another expensive wide receiver to go with them. So Julio is kind of just by himself at the top there as the most expensive player on the slate, in a slate where like you don't really have to save money at all to get him. So I think he's going to be very highly owned. And I think if you're trying to win a GPP, you might as well just fade him and hope that he has an average game. Hopefully Tampa Bay switches the game plan a little bit. It's not in Atlanta in that dome. It's going to be outside at Tampa. So I don't think he'll have nearly as good of a game as people will expect him, as he put up like 45, 50 FanDuel points last week. So I'll fade it. Hopefully he's over 50, 60% owned on the slate. And if he doesn't do well, then I'm already ahead of the field there. If we're going to be playing Dak, I would probably pair him with Dez for sure. He's been getting consistently a lot of market share for Dallas. So he would be my favorite wide receiver up there at the top. I also like Crabtree as well.
All right. And if you move down to the mid-tier, would you go to Sanu? Would that just be lock-in? Because figuring Julio, so Sanu. And then we'll leave that other spot open. Let's move to tight end. Tight end, to me, I feel like Jason Witten's the play, especially with Dak, and I don't mind going with the 3 stack on this. What do you say?
If we went Jason Witten, I would probably pivot off Morris, just because I usually don't play tight end and running backs at the same thing, especially if we're going with Dez as well. I don't know if I would play all 4, just because I don't think there's going to be. There could be, actually, but I don't know if there would be enough touchdowns to go around. But looking elsewhere around there, I agree with you. No one else is really all that safe. If we're saying that Julio is going to get shut down because they're just going to focus all their attention on him, Hooper's interesting. He's usually good for 4 to 5 looks a game. And then O.J. Howard last week had one of his OJ Howard games, but he could go back to one catch for 10 yards again. So who knows?
Here's the thing that I got to ask you then. Okay, so if we did lock in Witten and we went to Bryant, we had Witten and Bryant with Dak, and we said we want to take off of Alf, where are we going then after that? Like, because I don't think Marshawn Lynch is a great play because of Sean Lee, and Sean Lee is like literally he's one of the top 2 or 3 defenders, like most valuable defenders of their team.
Yeah.
You still go Marshawn just because of the volume, because you paid down at tight end, because you can fit him in for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't go Marshawn really, just because I think if Dak has a good game, I think they're probably gonna have to throw as well. I don't know. It's tough. There's not a lot to work with. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we could just go raw points and you could play Morris. I just usually don't play like 4 at one time, but
You're right. But in this slates, maybe that's the way to win.
Slate specific, like for sure. Now that I'm looking at it more, that's definitely a possibility.
Kicker, pick whoever you want, whatever you can fit in. I think they're all in decent spots. I think they all could get, Bailey, whatever you want. Obviously, if you're going to do a 4, you can't do Bailey on FanDuel. So we'll just put in Tavecchio right now just for the hell of it. And then D, what would you say?
They're all pretty bad.
I'd probably go Falcons, but that's just an hope for the Tampa is dysfunctional.
Hopefully to throw a pick 6 or something.
Yeah, but if you don't like Ryan, maybe he's been playing bad. Maybe the Bucks, they have shown up this year. So, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for FanDuel. Let's move on to DraftKings and start off with once again the quarterbacks. Now they're all within $700 of each other.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters. I think you just want Dak then, right?
Yeah, that's pretty easy for me. I don't know why anyone else would really go elsewhere. Dak only being 100 more than Ryan and like 400 more than anyone else, 500 or whatever it is. So yeah, I don't care. I'd
see now. Dak. And now with this, with the DraftKings prices, I kind of like to play Freeman again, but I like Lynch better because he's only 5,100 here. Do you follow me on that one now? Because he's cheaper. He's $600 cheaper. Because he was more expensive than Morris on FanDuel. Morris is more expensive than him.
Yeah,
on DK.
DraftKings makes it always interesting because you can usually work around a little more with guys in your lineup. So right now, if I was building, I would just leave this open and get back to it later. But like we were talking about before, there's not a lot of options at running back. So like I feel like you're fine either way, picking like Marshawn or Morris, where you kind of know that they're going to get a majority of the touches.
And you're hoping for a goal line, pass interference on Crabtree, and then he gets a 1-yard run.
It doesn't go for 36 again.
Yeah. Let's move to receiver. Like I said, Julio just almost prices himself out. He's 1,700 more than Crabtree.
Yeah, like I said just before, if you're playing a tournament, you look at it like if you pick Julio, you're still going to be with like 60-70% of the field on this specific slate, just because there's really nowhere to spend your money besides Julio. So I think a lot of people are going to go there. So I would rather go down a little bit at wide receiver. And you can get like 3 solid guys all down there. You could literally go like Crabtree, Dez, and Sanu, or even Mike Evans. Feeling on Mike Evans.
Here's who I like. Deshaun Jackson. Last game, he saw his season high in receptions and targets against the same team. 4,600. Another flyer would maybe be Adam Humphries to go off the grid Monday night. That's just a quick there. I'm gonna lock in Dez, and I want to lock in Deshaun right now. Tight end, it's Witten again for me. I can't get off of it. There's nobody else. I guess you might be able to say Austin Hooper because of the 10 receptions they gave up to Ebron last week? Is that, I mean, if you're fading Julio,
yeah,
why not Hooper?
Yeah, I think if you're fading Julio, you have to go Sanu or Hooper. So it's either one of the two.
Let's lock in Hooper, and then let's pick a defense, and people can figure out the last receiver in the flex. Defense again, I say you either the way that just like the lineup build. I'm going with the Cowboys D.
Yeah, that would make the most sense. Yep.
So anyways, guys, that is our lineup build for DraftKings and for the Sunday night, Monday night slate. Be sure to comment below. And it's like I said, it's just kind of the core. You guys figure out the last two spots. Kind of give you guys something just to kind of go on and work on. So anyways, Cam, that was fun again for another building blocks, father and son. That was fun.
Yeah, just building with those blocks, I guess. So,
those blocks, building that bankroll. All right, guys. Anyways, though, for my son Cam, I'm Patio Joe, and we are out.